Just when I thought I was done with making Paralives content for a month, we've got even more information. I've already done 2 videos in a row, so I apologize for the overload, but there is so much more that they've just announced and it's really exciting. So since they've dropped the latest gameplay trailer of Paralives, they've revealed a little bit more information about personalities, relationships, together cards, group interactions, jobs and careers, and wants and needs. Guys, trust me when I say these are going to really surprise you. It's something that we haven't really seen implemented before, and I don't even feel critical of it. I just feel like it's such a good idea and a long time coming. Now, something I thought was slightly controversial, which is that they said they would never have any paid DLCs, only free updates. Now, they have actually given more clarification on this, stating that when Paralives comes out in early access, they'll be making frequent updates to release new features and content for free during the early access. And then even after the 1.0 version, in other words, the full version of the game, they will continue to be making big updates that will always remain free. They've suggested that the reason for this is that as players themselves, they believe that purchasing a game should come with the guarantee of a fleshed out experience, and that as a small team without any shareholders to please, they believe the money that they make from selling the game alone will be enough to support them and the development of free updates in the long run. I've told you guys my opinion on this. I still think they need to be a little bit more open to the idea of paid for DLC as long as it's aesthetic only and not gameplay look behind DLC. I do think it's possible though, especially if you look at a game like Stardew Valley, which always gets huge updates and you only need to purchase that once. It's a very cheap game, so I'm sure it is possible. Now, in terms of personalities, we saw in the reveal trailer that the character had 4 main attributes: physique, mind, creativity, and charisma. They've clarified that physique determines how well your character is regarding physical strength, agility, and general health. Mind is how good they are at problem solving, logic, and mathematics. Creativity is pretty self-explanatory, and charisma is for things relating to communication and leadership. In terms of the vibes, they've suggested that these are the general impressions that your parafolk give, and each vibe comes with different perks and potentially negatives, although they haven't given much detail on these, nor have they given much more detail on the social perks other than that they can affect the way that you socialize, and they have suggested that the lists are subject to change. They've also clarified the obvious about talents, which is that whatever talent you choose, you'll gain skills in that particular talent faster. Now, they've clarified that your parafolk will have personality levels and that it's not a static thing and you'll actually be able to change it as you go along, and that for each time you level up your personality, you'll be able to upgrade a certain element of their personality. So in this screenshot, because Rachel has a music talent, she's able to level up her music talent. You guys let me know what you feel about this. I actually think it's really cool, although I wonder, how do you actually like develop your personality points? Is it something that happens gradually over time? I don't know. They haven't really given too much detail about that, but I actually really like the gameplay concept. I think it's really fun. Now, this is like the really exciting thing, which I thought, like, we haven't really seen this implemented in this way before. It looks amazing, and I'm talking about the social relationships. Now, we saw in the trailer that you can have different kinds of relationship levels in different categories with different people, and it's not just one progress bar. For example, in this screenshot, you can see that they're friends, baking buddies, neighbors, and classmates, and they all have different levels depending on your relationship with them with that specific label. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you might be like really friendly with somebody, but you might hate them as a neighbor. Do you know what I mean? I kind of like that it's a little bit different, but this is where it gets really interesting. They've revealed that they're doing combo labels. In terms of the basic labels, there are 5 main categories: family links like mother, father, sister, brother; friendship links like a friend, a confidant, a cooking buddy, a party partner, lots of things. Then we've got romantic ones like a love interest, a secret crush, lovers, married; professional relationship labels like boss, co-worker, business partner; and then enemy labels like rival, bad neighbor, or a mean ex. Now, a combo label is when you put 2 of these together and they form a brand new label. For example, a friend and a confidant can be become a close friend, or a co-worker and a creative buddy can become a productive duo. A friend and a rival could be a frenemy. A friend and a mum could be your best friend mum. A close friend and a lover is a life partner. I like the idea of combining, you know, simpler things to turn them into more complicated things. The reason why is I just feel like it makes socializing so much fun. Like, you want to have a different kind of relationship with different people. And I feel like as a player, it incentivizes you to interact with different people in the world in different ways in order to make different kinds of friends and have different kinds of relationships in the game. I think it's a lot better for storytelling. I think it's a lot better for interactions in general. Guys, we've never seen this before. No, we haven't. This is not the same as Sims 4 Sentiments. It's very, very different. And I feel like it's, guys, tell me what you think. This is the thing that I found the most exciting about all the new information that's been revealed. Now, they've also mentioned how the different labels are going to affect gameplay. They've mentioned how that this gives you the opportunity to have one-sided labels. So your character could develop a secret crush with another character, but the other one doesn't know. They can also affect skill gains. So if you're a cooking buddy with somebody, you might gain your cooking skill faster when you're cooking together, and that you can unlock new interactions having impacts on careers and school-related activities and a lot more. And in general, I just think it's cool, the idea of having different relationship labels with different friends level separately at different times. I can just already think of so many different gameplay aspects that you can do with this. Guys, let me know what you think about this one. I just think it's so genius. They actually showed an example of how if you have a secret crush, you can email an anonymous love letter, which I just think is really funny. I just feel like there's so much you can do. Now, they've gone over a little bit more too to do with the Togetherness meter, which is the green bar that fills up. Apparently, it takes specifically 1 hour to fill up. And then when you click on it, you unlock different kinds of interaction labels that you can use to change the flow of the conversation. They've stressed how the reason why they wanted to do this is so that you can develop relationships with a whole group of people at once. As we saw before, you can very easily drag and click on multiple people, which is so good. They've also demonstrated how you can really easily just get a group of characters to do a single action together all at the exact same time. And even if you get them to use like one singular object at the same time, they will just take it in turns. So they actually showed off using a toilet, which I think is quite funny. Also, I feel like it's going to resolve some of the issues that we do see in The Sims. For example, trying to call your family to eat a meal together on the table is impossible. They've said that more examples planned on making a family eat dinner together at the same time and making it very easy. Or clicking on a bed and selecting the sleep interaction will make multiple powers sleep. Obviously not in the same bed, but they will all go into their separate beds. They've stated about potentially playing games together as a group, or going swimming or doing gardening, and a lot more. Although they have said that characters can refuse to do what you ask them to do if it conflicts with their personality, which I actually quite like. In terms of the brand new Together card feature, they've said that the game can smartly suggest relationship developments that are appropriate for the current context, and also throw curveballs that create interesting events which impact a relationship. They actually showed an example of where you're playing as Sebastian on the left and Jason on the right, who's just an NPC townie, suggests that he wants to kiss you, and you give an answer of either yes or no. Like, one of the problems that I do find with The Sims is that there's no, like, you're in control of everything. I like the idea of something unexpected happening to me or happening to my character, and then I have to decide what happens. It's taking the control away from you as a player. I really like that to an extent, and it throws a curveball and it puts you in a situation that maybe you don't want to be in, but it's an added challenge. And I just feel like these added challenges are going to make the game a lot more fun. I felt like they kind of, not explicitly, I felt like they kind of put a little dig at The Sims 4, because they said you don't have to navigate an overcharged interaction menu to choose a specific social interaction and repeat many times in a row if you want to develop relationship between characters. This is why I actually really love the idea of just simply clicking a load of people and clicking talk, and then after some time you get these cards come up which give you some random, or should I say smartly generated interactions that change the flow of the conversation. I just feel like this is a much better way of going about it. We've actually seen something very, very similar in Life by You as well. It's not the same, but it's kind of a similar thing. I just feel like this is the way forward with social interactions in life simulation games. I don't like pie menus. No, I don't. I'm pie menu phobic, though I'm not pie phobic because I'm a fat pig. I love a pie, but not a pie menu. Now, key lime pie aside, one of my favorite desserts, they've also given a little bit more clarification on jobs and careers. Now, they've suggested that your job can be upgraded every single day after a work shift, allowing you to evolve your job and career in the direction that you want. They've shown one here of a game designer job where you can either improve your expertise as an effective communicator or your video game knowledge, or there's extras, and the one here is party planning committee, which increases your socialization at work. And then they've shown another one where you can instead pick to upgrade your job rank itself. Now, they've suggested that the green one, upgrading your job rank, increases your salary. The blue one, unlocking an expertise or upgrading an existing one, will increase your salary. The exciting thing about these, which we didn't really understand before, but we now know, the blue ones are actually points that you could update on your CV. I mean, your resume, before the Americans start yelling at me, your resume, okay? The blue ones are basically skills that you put on your resume. So if you gain skills from this job, you can, when you apply for a brand new job in a different company, these skills will actually be useful for your application and potentially help you to start off in a higher up rank because you've learned these expertise. And then we've got the red ones, which just unlock some extra perks. For example, certain skills whilst working or raising certain needs. And apparently some expertise can combine with your personalities to offer a boost. My only criticism of this is I personally feel like increasing your expertise should not give you a raise. I personally just feel like that should be extra points for your resume, but not actually give you a salary increase, because right now there isn't much difference between a job rank and adding points to your resume. So I just feel like the blue boxes need to have 0 salary increase or a very tiny salary increase. I don't know how you feel about that. Also, I don't know how I feel about you gaining one every single day. I feel like you should instead just gain one every 2 or 3 days. Again, I don't know how you feel about that. Otherwise, I just feel like it's going to be too easy. Now, they've also given some clarification on wants and needs. We saw in the original trailer in the bottom left, there seems to be these notifications. Now, although there isn't a specific needs bar, they've shown how there's 2 kinds of needs. You've got the white ones, like I could use a shower soon, which are, I guess, low priority. And then you've got red ones like I'm starving, which are high priority. Now, they've said the reason why they've done this instead of generic needs is so that you can actually customize your different needs depending on the character. So if a character has some specific personality trait, they might have a specific need that they have, which another character doesn't have. I guess, for example, if you have a para that likes being alone, they might not have a social need, whereas a para that doesn't like being alone, they like being with people, probably has a higher social need. Maybe a para that is dirty, they have a lower need to do their hygiene. I don't know. They've stated they want to go down this route because firstly, it's very complicated and cluttered having a lot of interface with different needs and different wants and different emotions, and that they thought it would be easier just to put all of these in the exact same place. And they've also stated that it just feels a lot more personal, like you can read the thoughts of your individual character and what they specifically want in the moment. Again, the concept of not having traditional needs in a life simulation game, not something that we've seen before. I genuinely think this could work out really well. I'm going to be honest, one thing I do find kind of annoying about just The Sims in general is like you've always got a thing like, oh, my character's got to eat because they're hungry, they got to do this, blah, 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 blah. It kind of gets in the way of you doing other things. Do you know what I mean? And one very, very clever thing that they mention about needs is that they can also be time specific. So when it comes to eating, they've suggested that your hunger need is based on a real life schedule, just as your sleep needs. So again, like, doesn't it annoy you in The Sims how your Sims just want to eat and sleep at totally random times all the time? And it just makes absolutely no sense. So actually having them on a schedule, I just feel like makes a lot of sense. It makes it a lot more interesting. I feel like it's more simple, but not simple in a basic bitch boring way, but it's simple in a fun way in order to ironically make it even more meaningful. They haven't stated though, like, I wonder if wants, like what they actually do when you complete a want, will it improve your general EXP? I don't know. But that's a rundown of all the extra information. So you let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.